into the Unwritten Rule podcast, your number one stop shop for all sports media news. I'm your host, Monzi, and today I will be recapping the OU week 2 game against the Houston Cougars. Oklahoma won that football game 16-12. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel for more content. Starting off, hats off to the Houston Cougars. For that game plan that they had week 1 against UNLV, where they almost looked like they couldn't even put up 10 yards per play, let alone 3 yards per play against UNLV, and then to come out to Norman on the road and come out there with a game plan to at least give them a chance to win that football game was pretty good. So hats off to them. Obviously, I think if they had a quarterback just somewhat better than Donovan Smith, they would have won that football game. Or if we played a different team with a more competent offense, we definitely would have lost that football game 100%. There was no way we looked like the best team out there on that field, nor did we look like an Oklahoma football team on the field that day. But we got the win. That's what matters. And when it comes to this football team, I'm high on us, but I don't think we're a dominating football team quite yet. And I think that's going to take some years and some more development for that. Not saying it's not going to be with Brent Venables or anything, but it will take some time. I do think that one thing that we should be, looking into is just accepting the fact that we won the football game and kind of moving on. Yes, we still need to make some adjustments, but it's early in the season. We still have one more game technically till we have to play. We have to play Tennessee at home, so we should definitely have to ramp up some stuff and fix some things adjustment wise. But getting into the game, starting off with offense, it was mainly the offensive's fault. That game, the game plan was just off. It was not the right game plan that you call. And also, when things don't work, you still have to find some ways to get some rhythm built with your quarterback. He's a young quarterback. He's technically, in my opinion, still a freshman at quarterback as far as play goes. It just wasn't the way that you go. You don't have him throw 2 deep passes back to back. After the first one, he was already off target. The second one, you make him throw it again the next down. It doesn't make it any better. Build some rhythm with the guy. He's young. You have to build something with him. And in the run game, I like Barnes a lot, but I feel like when you're in a position like you were that game, you got to find a way to get Sawchuk on the field. I feel like Barnes does need to be on the field, and I don't think that he just needs to be used as a running back. I also think that you should use him as a receiver. I feel like he is very elusive, and he will be very detrimental for us in the passing game, especially when you need somebody to just do something real quick. You lost Farouk, so you don't really have much. You don't really have much talent that that you want to play right now. So I would try to use Javonte Barnes as much as you could when it comes to the passing game. But when it comes to running, not saying he's not a good runner, I just would like to see Sawchuk much more for the ground and pound. So after that, man, it's just the receivers can't get open. There was no calls, though, that made these DBs for U of H. There was nothing that made them turn around and run or move out of the play. It was nothing that made them move from each other. They were still in the same way they lined up from the beginning of the play. There's no real offensive threat going towards them. Only real threat we had was hitting them in the quick passing game. Deion Burks does a quick 3-yard slant, but it puts the person that's guarding him or in the zone in front of him. You still got to guard that technically. If I'm running a 3-yard slant, and you just have a basic little, drop zone, hook, curl, flat zone, whatever you want to call, you're going to still run 3 yards back because you want me in front of you. So now when I make an angle, that makes it somebody else's zone, or it could still be your zone. But the person that's, not paying attention is chasing now. So the quick passing game worked for us. But when we did stuff deep downfield, it never worked because it took too long to develop. We're still carrying out handoffs behind the backfield, and we got guys barely pushing 10 yards down the field, but we want to start throwing the ball. We don't got that much time. We don't. And it was not posing a threat to the University of Houston on defense at all. They were able to stay connected to every single thing. They were able to stay connected on the routes. There was times we did stupid route trees where we would have a play action play with only 2 people going out for a pass. That is not smart. You know, you got to have some more stuff than that. And I understand we don't want to play our whole you know, you don't want to give out the whole playbook quite yet, but it was a problem. And we have to fix that. Latrell has to learn how to build rhythm and also us find a way to establish the run way better than we have these past 2 games. And Houston did all right defensively. Like, they played good. You can't knock that Houston played the way they played. It just wasn't the way we wanted it to be as Oklahoma's, as Sooner fans. But man, it's just, you gotta find a way to make Jackson Arnold comfortable. That's my main thing from this game, and you have to figure out the way to call plays that shows our speed, shows our talent. There was nothing like that. The misdirection plays with the tight end flanking out, those were good play calls. I like that. Obviously, like I said, you don't want to play your whole card. You still got to play Tennessee, and you hope to not use your whole playbook against these teams that, aren't as talented as what you're going to be facing when you start your conference game. So that's the main problem with that. Moving on, defensively, like I said, I don't blame defense for anything that transpired that game. Yeah, they looked a little rough, but they only looked a little rough because offense had them on the field all game. Offense couldn't put their own selves on the field. Couldn't even leave them on. They couldn't leave their own selves on the field most of that game. So my issue was the DNs. I don't think that we'll be able to make it far with those DNs. I'm sorry, Trace Ford, Downs, Bothroyd. They're not. I'm sorry. And if you think they're good, I mean, I guess you think they're good, but they're not good at all. They won't make a difference. If you replace them with anybody, a freshman, anything, you couldn't tell me that you could tell a difference. You wouldn't be able to tell. You wouldn't be able to tell me that there's a difference because they don't have any impact for us whatsoever. I mean, I was watching Caleb Downs get. I mean, not Caleb Downs, but I was watching Ethan Downs get drilled 40 yards across the field. Like, what is going on? Going from the right side to the left. I seen the same thing with Trace Ford. They were tied into Trace Ford all the way from the left side of the field to the right side of the field. Like, just straight blocking them down the line. Like, that's not going to win you football games. Now, the D tackles that we have, that we were starting out there, please continue to play them. 52 and 56. Now, I don't want to get too negative on the pass rush because obviously you, like I said, you don't want to show your entire playbook quite yet. So you're not going to do stunts. You're not going to be doing blitzes. But as a standard pass rush with no blitzes and no stunts, we don't have that. So we can't run stuff like that. And that sucks for us because if you're blitzing someone, you're essentially losing someone in coverage. And the way we cover, especially on the outside, it's a huge problem for us. So hopefully one of these guys can actually emerge as a top pass rusher for us and actually be able to get to the quarterback. I like this against the run. That's for the linebackers too. I felt like each group of linebackers that came out there, each group of D tackles and DNs that went out there, they did good against the run. Now, moving on to the outside, our corners, I've been said it, it's our weakest group on the team. We're just not good there at all. And I did see a couple guys go in and out, but nobody makes a difference for us in the secondary for real. As typically speaking for the corners. And I know this is crazy. Somebody might call me crazy or a buffoon for saying this, but I would deeply look at moving Robert Spears Jennings to corner. I would deeply look at it. I didn't get to see Gentry. I guess he might be hurt. I rewatched the game, but I didn't see him out there. I know Vickers and Connie Walker, those two guys, I don't like them on the field. I don't think you should play them. I think the next guy in line you have is Malone. He could be able to do something. But like I said, if you want to win some football games and you want to put some tenacity on the outside, I think you move Robert Spears-Jennings to corner. He has the size, he has the physicality, he has the awareness, and the boy knows how to play the football when it goes in the air. He's not panicking, he's relaxed, and he's just ready to do his job. And I would say you move Kendall Doby, but he's a little shorter. And plus, I think he's a senior, so, this is his last season for us. So you got to get what you can out of him right now at the cheetah position. Woody Washington, he did all right in that game. I'm not going to put a blame on him for real. I felt like that one call where he did catch the pick and they threw a flag on him, I felt like that was a tacky call. He did deserve that interception in that game. Woody has to be better. He's not. That's why I said you have to move Robert Spears-Jennings to a corner position. Not saying you put Robert Spears-Jennings in front of Woody. You still play Woody, but you got some more physicality out there because, man, the corner position is soft. And then thing is, we're not pressing. So if we're not even able to press and we have to play off-man coverage against Texas, oh, man, it's a field day. They're going to RPO us all game. If we can't be able to press those receivers at Texas, it's going to be bad. You have to be able to press the receivers for Tennessee too. You can't play this off coverage anymore. The corners are going to have to start playing some press coverage eventually, like actually getting their hands on these guys. And that may help the pass rush if if the corners are able to get their hands on the receiver to slow down the quarterback's time and to read the field. That means the quarterback would only technically be able to read the safeties and linebackers for real, because you're taking away the outside guy. And the outside guys are just the easy throws. It's a simple read. You just look over there. By the time you look over there, you'll know if the outside guy is open or not. He's either running down the field or he's stopped on a curl. So it's pretty easy to read outside. From the inside, it's more difficult to read. So we do have to find a way to be able to be physical on the outside. The safeties, they did great. I like the safeties. I'm very high on our safeties. That's the best group to me on the football field, aside from the running back position. But I do like the safety. Bowen played a good game. Bowman, he's not great in pass coverages, but when the ball is in the air and he's around, he's going to catch an interception. So he'll have his moments. Like I said, he's not no lockdown type safety, but his awareness to the ball will translate to the NFL, and he will have a good NFL career for sure. Now, the linebackers, I was okay with that. The play of the linebackers, they played pretty good. I felt like nothing really came towards them. They did great against the run. Like, we did great against the run. I was actually happy that we did good against the run. But it's not too much you can critique on the defense because the offense had them out there. I don't think our defense is a shutdown defense. And so since they're not a shutdown defense, whenever they do good, you got to accept it for what it kind of is. They haven't showed us they're a shutdown defense. Not yet. Not once, actually. But that's all from me. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I will be trying to take a look into the Tulane game. Tulane did almost beat K-State, but they had a weird fumble. The quarterback got loose with the ball with a Jalen Hurts and fumbled the ball, so they lost the game. But like I said, that's all from me, folks. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to the Unwritten Rule podcast.